Hey, look everybody, I got some Striper. You know Striper, the fish? Guys, I just got a bag of frozen Striper from somebody who wanted to kill me 3 years ago. Not figuratively kill me, I mean literally kill me. The guy even said he wanted to blow my head off. And he was talking just like this. You want some Striper? So yeah, just to reiterate things a little bit, the neighbor behind my house threatened to kill me. Now, he kind of had a good reason to threaten my life. Well, sorta. I wasn't trying to, like, egg him on or anything. I'm not that kind of guy. My God, has it been a long time since I made a video. I could use a shave. I almost look like somebody who would give somebody some Striper. You want some Striper? I got some Striper right here. My life was threatened, and today the same guy that threatened me gave me some fish. Some Striper in a bag, frozen for you and to throw on the grill. Yeah, you want some Striper? I got some Striper right here. So I guess I need to get into the how and why. Yeah, it might help. So we moved into this quaint little home here, and my wife had already gotten a job, and I had to start looking for one. She got a job here at this new location before I did. And so she had started work, and I was home, and I was still unpacking a couple things and getting things organized. And we have a shed, and we had seen when we first moved in here a box, a very large box inside the shed. It was the only thing inside there. And so I went over into it. I took the dog out, my dog Sawyer, and you know, I started kind of investigating, you know, checking things out here a little bit, and I just let him run loose and run around and observe his new surroundings. Well, he's an old dog, so I knew he wasn't going to run off. But the only thing that was kind of making me nervous was our fence behind our house comes to an end. It doesn't wrap around. It's not completely enclosed, and so at the end of the fence, it leads to the next neighborhood. And I was afraid Sawyer was going to go over there. Right after our fence, there's a tree, a tire swing attached to a tree, and it leads to the backyard of this neighbor's house. And so I was afraid that Sawyer was going to run over there because there was a little girl that was playing over there. So I'm at my shed, and I'm about, I'd say, roughly 25-30 feet away from this little girl. The last time I see Sawyer before I walk into the shed, he's already on the other side of the house. When I came out, I was worried about where my dog was, because the last thing I wanted to do while I was starting to organize things and get the day started, you know, the last thing I wanted was for my dog to run off. So I started walking over to him, and then the little girl appears, and she's now on my side of the fence. And, you know, you're a stranger to a little girl. She's never seen you. You've most certainly not seen her, just having moved in. And so I asked her the worst thing you could possibly ask a child that isn't yours. And that question was, have you seen my dog? Have you seen my dog? Oh my God, I can't believe I asked her this. Because it was one of those situations where as soon as you ask it, you're just like, oh my God. Now for those of you who are not really familiar as to why those 5 words are so bad, let me just tell you something right now. Have you seen my dog is like the #1 choice pickup line for sexual offenders. I'm not kidding. In fact, I recall watching like the stranger danger videos when I was a younger kid, where some guy would drive up to a bus stop or, you know, to a park where kids were playing, and there's no adults around, and then they come out of their car and they say, hey, have you seen my dog? I'm looking for my dog. I really miss him. Will you come over and help? Some unsuspecting, naive kid is going to get into his car, and then they're going to drive off, and, you know, something terrible is going to happen. So yeah, without thinking, I asked this little girl, whom I did not know, that very question. Have you seen my dog? The little girl pointed down towards the side of my house, And she goes, yeah, he's right there. And I'm like, great. So now, instead of approaching her, I went around the house closest to where I was standing and got Sawyer, and I actually took him inside. So now I go back outside and I'm all giddy about what I had found inside this box. It's a collection of Lord of the Rings action figures. I'm going through all the action figures and everything, and I start closing up the shed, and I overhear people talking from over the fence, and it's the little girl and this redneck sounding guy, and he sounds very mad. And all of a sudden I hear, he asked you if you could help him find his dog. So I run back into the house and I'm thinking, okay, I'm out of the way, so that's the end of it, right? Wrong. I suddenly hear this huge, loud, redneck truck pull up in my front yard, and then this guy comes rushing up to the front doorstep and knocks on the door. Hey, you missing a dog? The dude asked me if I was missing my dog, and I told him yeah. Thank goodness Sawyer was right at my foot when he asked me that. He then proceeds to tell me that he was ready to shoot me. He had a shotgun in his truck, and he was willing to go get it to blow my head off. So I explained to him, of course I had to, what the situation was and why I asked what I asked. It was kind of on impulse that those words came out of my mouth, but at the same time I didn't really expect all this to happen. And my intentions were finding my dog. So anyway, we introduced ourselves, and then we actually spoke for 10 minutes, but I was still shaking and sweaty, and I did not want to deal with that guy ever again. It's been 3 years now, and I haven't spoken to this guy at all. Until today. My stepson Zach comes over, and he says, hey, the guy that lives in the house behind us wants to talk to you. I'm like, what? And it was all regarding his satellite dish. He doesn't have access to satellite signal, so he wanted to install a satellite dish kind of in our yard, but in an inconspicuous spot. And I agreed to it. I was fine with that. So I went to go and tell him that everything was cool. So I go over there, and I'm reluctant to knock on the door or even, cross that fence. But yeah, I ended up spending about 20 minutes with him. He was very welcoming, and he actually spoke intelligently. He didn't act like he was a drunk loon ready to go postal on anybody. He told me his situation with the satellite TV company, and I told him it was fine. And then he proceeded to apologize for what had happened 3 years ago, and I guess he really tried to make up for it by offering me some frozen fish that he caught out of our own rivers and streams. I don't know, I guess it's like some sort of redneck peace offering. How, man? I come in peace, and so here's some monkfish and some striper. Oh yeah, that's not the worst of it. He also gave me monkfish. Hey man, do you know what monkfish is? Oh yeah, actually I do. Okay, well let me tell you, man, that monkfish are fishes that live on the bottom.
Oh my God.
They're bottom dwellers on the bottom. Okay, and they are by far the ugliest fish I've ever seen, man. I mean, I've seen pictures and Discovery Channel shows of the ugly fish in the deep sea, but this thing is ugly. I mean, I've seen pictures of it where you see it up front and close up, man. It's ugly. Oh my God. Yes, about 5 minutes into that conversation, I wish he just shot me.